Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining the session. Today, we're still looking at that podcast website rewrite. And where we left off on the last session was sort of in a weird broken state. I had been using FlySystem, OneUpload, FlySystem bundle, and an uploader bundle to try and manage the background images. And we more or less have that working for the background images. If we go to the admin site, we should see some stuff that looks reasonable here. So we're actually able to get this information out. One of the things I want to try and do while we're here is see if we can get some output happening. So one of the problems that I had before was it didn't seem like I could do anything with these existing images. So I just want to verify for myself that this is actually working. So I'm going to do a return here. So if I run this command, it's not actually going to do anything. But I want to see if it's actually letting me get some of this other information out. So let's do existing background image. Then I want to see if what kind of information I can get out of it. So I'm asking to resolve the URI. Just to see if that even works. Because I felt like there was something going on toward the end there that wasn't even working. So let's see here. Actually, let me see what commands we have. I don't remember what it was called. Okay. I thought it would give me something a little easier to understand there. All right, so let's do this. All right, so it's coming back with nothing. Let's do force. All right, so existing background image. So it's able to get the URL. But is it doing that the same for everything? For Signal Leaf podcasts, that podcast. Huh. That makes me feel like maybe these older episodes don't actually work. That or else they're putting them in a directory that I would not have expected. Yeah, so it's actually creating these directories. So I think I might want to do something more with that, because this isn't what I would have expected. I would have expected these slashes to be converted to dashes. All right, so that's one thing that I should take a look at. Let's see what I can do with this this existing episode. Get background image file. And let's see, get real path. I'm curious what that looks like anyway. Caught error. Missing a parenthesis. Oh no. I want to see if that happens all the time. Because it shouldn't be. file is null, file is null. Let's not put this output out. So this is what I don't quite understand. This file is null. I don't know why. And that means I really can't do anything with it. So I wanted to double check that I hadn't been misunderstanding this from the last session, because it did seem like this background image file was null. It's possible there's some listeners that need to be hooked up, but to be honest, after 2 full sessions trying to get this bundle to work, I think I'm over it. So it's possible I might come back to this at another time or in another session, but for now, I think I'm going to consider this as not working. I do want to check the episode itself, because I thought we'd put this pristine media stuff up, which I did add, but I don't see it in my output here. So yeah, I guess we committed all of this. I don't want any of that anymore. So let's go ahead and see what else we can do. I had a tip from some people online talking to check out another uploader package. So I'm going to check that out now. So let's go to OneUp. So there is already something that we're using from this package. We're using the FlySystem bundle from this same group of people, or this project. I'm not exactly sure what their deal is. Let's go see. It's actually not in a language I understand, so websites. Okay. Well, it looks like it's a web agency. They provide some services and stuff like that. So on top of that, they seem to be doing some awesome work with some Symfony bundles. So in addition to the FlySystem package that we've already been using, they also provide an uploader bundle. And this uploader bundle looks like it's the focus on this one appears to be from some sort of front end. So there isn't anything explicitly in the docs here about EasyAdmin, where the other one had that kind of stuff built into it. It's possible this does too. It's just not talked about as much. They talk about drop zone, fine uploader, a couple of these other upload systems. So before I even worry about the upload part, I want to see if I can actually feel comfortable dealing with media files at this level. So I'm going to jump into the docs. Symfony 3.3. I did look at this earlier. They do have a Flex recipe. OneupUploader. There we go. So they do have a recipe for this package, so it's all going to be able to hook into itself. If we use translations, there's some information there for that. So I'm going to require this now. So and while that's going, let's see what else we have. So enable the bundle. Flex will do that for us. Configure the bundle. I'm going to have to do something with that, which I'm totally fine with. So mappings, gallery, specify which front end. So this is what's going to be doing the uploading. This part I'm a little unsure of. So I'm going to just see what I can do without having to specify that yet. Enable dynamic routes. Yeah, so this is going to assume web uploads mapping name. I don't know if I need to actually worry about that. Group directory structure, checking the change directory structure. I'm going to be using FlySystem, so I think a bunch of this stuff might not actually matter. So let's go here first. All right, so it created some stuff for us. Let's check out the routes. All right, so looks like it's more or less just doing its own thing here. I'm gonna leave that as it is if I can. Gallery front end. All right, so I don't actually want to use gallery. So let's do There we go. What's the name of this file? OneupUploader. All right, so this is the mapping example. Create your own mappings. All right, let's call this media. Actually, let's call it audio. Media. We'll leave it as media. Front end, I'm not going to do anything with that. I don't actually have drop zone. It may never use drop zone, but I'm just going to leave it like this for now. And reloading everything, nothing fails, nothing gets weird, so that's good. All right, let's hop back here. Next steps, FlySystem. So let's take a look at this, because we already have some of this up and running. So we have FlySystem bundle. It's already configured. We have the adapters, and then configure your mappings. So activate FlySystem by switching the type to FlySystem under storage. So OneUp mappings gallery. I don't think we had a storage to begin with, so yeah, media. Let's do storage, FlySystem. Oh wait, no, it was type. Type FlySystem, and then we have to actually specify the file system name. Acme FlySystem adapter gallery FlySystem. Create a FlySystem service called OneUp FlySystem. Okay, so this is using configuration magic. So let's go to OneUp FlySystem. So what that says it's doing, file systems, episode file system. Okay. I'm going to leave it like this. Episode file system. So OneUp FlySystem dot episode file system. And let's change this back to episodes. So we'll just put the actual media content in the same directory. Okay, something went wrong. Service controller.episodes has a dependency. So I need to comment this out to figure out where it's at. And we'll look for OneUp FlySystem. Must need that gallery file system and episode file system. to break some of the other configuration if I do this, I think. So let's go back to here, episodes. Upload destination episodes. All right, now let's go double check. Okay, so this stuff still appears to work, which is good. Let's go back to our first page. All right. So at least nothing here appears to be broken. I'm going to delete this pristine media stuff because I don't want it here anyway, and it wasn't working. So back to entity. Pristine media. It's kind of a bummer that none of this worked. It's really probably just something that I did incorrectly somehow, but it is what it is. So EasyAdmin. So I think I need to get rid of these. Make sure that nothing's broken. Background image file. Background image file. All right. Apparently I did go too far here. So I think I took too many things out of here. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to redo that. A little too greedy. So really it was a out of order thing here. So background image, pristine media, updated. So that needed to come out, but not background image file. And these two values do. We don't need the constructor. We don't need these or this one. Okay, now we should be back in business. All right, so the background image works. We're essentially not doing anything at all with the stuff that we aren't doing anything at all with the pristine media stuff that we put into place last time. So I think what I want to do is just remove this migration entirely. So first I'll see if I can migrate down. Let me see here. I don't remember how to go back one. Unless there's just a rollback. No, latest status. Current -1. Prev, there we go. So migrate previous. Well, that's not nice. All right, so that removed them. Now I'm actually going to remove them from the database, or not, from the repository as well. So let's see here. Hey Joe, looks like Joe joined chat. Just going to copy that. There we go. All right, so where are we at now? I think there's some things inside our entity that we no longer need. What's this embedded file here? So let's get rid of that for now. I think we still need that. All right, so now that we have our mapping set up for FlySystem, let's double check and see what we have next. Head back to the docs. All right, so check the bundle's working correctly. I don't really want to go through all of that, but I need to be prepared to, need to be prepared to deal with things if they go wrong because I'm not doing what they suggest. So I'll give them a break on that. The Orphanage is something that could be interesting. So I didn't read about it yet, so let's see what this talks about. I want to say that it's trying to handle the case where you create an upload and they actually upload, but nothing actually happens with it. So if you're creating a create form with file upload, user decides not to submit. The purpose of the Orphanage is to collect orphan files until you come along and collect them. I don't know if this is actually going to be problematic for us, or a problem for us, because I don't think that's the use case that we have. However, it is kind of nice that it's there. This is not what I thought it was going to be. Clean up. All right, I'm not going to worry about it. All right, so let's see what other things we have here in next steps, because I want to find out how to upload behind the scenes. So we have process upload files using custom logic, custom data to front end, chunked uploads, include your own namer. I think we want to do that. Custom error handler, support a custom uploader. Support. All right. So custom namer, this is what we were already sort of doing. So we had some namers here. They have these as external interfaces. Every file uploaded through controllers, structure, gallery namer. This could be interesting because its default is unique ID namer, returns system-wide unique file. This is different than what I thought it was going to be. Change the directory structure. Huh. All right, so it looks like the namer can actually specify the directory as well. So you can do that. That's okay. I'll have to come back to that. Custom uploader. Controller parts. This is where I don't want to deal with a controller. This handle upload file. Implement a chunked upload using custom response class. I guess we could do the same thing we were doing before, because we were already constructing. A file. So let's do this existing episode. I don't care about this debug code that we had anymore. One thing I do want to do is go into get all. Let's see, this was export client episodes. Find by slug, get all. So let's do, does collection have a limit? Looks like I can just slice. There's a slice of the collection starting at the given index. So I think I can do 0, 3. Because I don't want to do this for everything. So let's do slice 0, 1. So this should only give us one episode. So I want to see what happens if we run our command. No file system mounted with prefix episodes. All right, so it's still something that needs to be configured. Upload destination episodes. There we go. Okay, so we're getting the most recent one first. It's a rather large MP3, so I'm really hoping for the older one. Actually, you know what, I don't care. Let's go ahead and use that. Ingest command. All right, so we need to do the same sort of deal here. So if the background image, so we need to create the same thing for the MP3. So and let's replace background image URL with media. All right, so client get it, create a new uploaded file with the original name, and then set media file. So let's not do that part just yet. Let's go read how we're supposed to handle uploads. So request, get master request, create a new empty response. Handle upload. What? Do people really not ever deal with anything not through a controller? I was talking a bit in previous sessions about how I feel like, maybe it wasn't on the session or maybe it was afterwards, but I feel like more often than I'm comfortable with, I feel like I end up being an extreme edge case like super early on in using these bundles that everyone else uses and are happy with. And I just don't get it. Don't get it. Joe says he runs into similar edge cases. I always thought it was just me not getting it. Yeah, well, it's not you, or not just you anyway. At the very least, it's you and me. So, all right, so I'm going to do what I did with the other uploader bundle, and I'm going to try to figure out how to make this work, which is going to involve going to the controller and trying to figure out how to do it. So let's see here. I'm guessing they're all going to go to abstract controller. So let's do drop zone. Extends abstract chunked folder response. Right, extending controllers. What could go wrong from a command line application? Probably not much. Yeah. So yeah, handle upload. Great. And it needs the request and a response. All right, so chunked controller extends abstract controller, which makes sense, I suppose. So I guess any of the controllers that support chunked automatically support regular. All right, handle upload. All right, so if it's not a file interface, which is OneUp's file interface, then make it one, validate it, which is its own function with a bunch of logic, I'm sure. Dispatch pre-upload event. Get the namer, name it. Get the storage. Where did it get the storage from? Oh, this storage. Okay. So you give it a file and a name. Oh, this is the real upload. That's good. And it's dispatching the events. Ah. I could just do all of this in a service class that's given a Symfony file instance. I don't need all of this stuff. I think I know where Joe's going with this. Step 1, build library. Step 2, over-engineer. Step 4, profit. So I think the thing that I mentioned the other day, on Twitter at least, is that if all I was using either of these bundles for, which is what I'm guessing a large majority of people are using them for, is uploading a avatar URL or uploading some asset that a user is going to be uploading, this would work fine. This would be totally great. The reason that I'm running into issues is that I'm trying to get information from some other source than an actual upload. And I think that it's pretty easy to see from the name of these packages that people have for this is that it's very much geared toward handling uploading. So I can't fault anybody for their packages because they have a specific use case, uploading files and how to handle them. Most of them don't seem to care or even discuss how to do anything with their storage interfaces and whatnot, outside of the context of just straight up uploading in some way. I do like both of them for different reasons so far, but neither of them are working for me. Neither of them have made it anywhere near easy for me to do something that should just be straightforward. Yeah, you could, Joe says, you could build an info extraction service that runs before you ship the image off to the storage location. Yeah, I mean, I fall into this trap every once in a while, and I get really cranky at Symfony's bundle ecosystem. And I know that I get the same problem with Laravel as well, to be honest, that I try to follow the patterns that other people are using, and it just it doesn't work very often. So I wanted to try and sort of use the common tools that people would normally use in a Symfony application for handling file uploads, but my uploads are intended to be doing stuff with them. So I just don't think this is going to work. And I don't know if I want to muddle through trying to design something in 30 minutes. Well, 20 minutes now. So I think I should figure out something else to do. So let's look at where we're at. So far, we haven't done anything with the media storage yet. We haven't done anything with the JSON feed or the Twitter player. I know one thing that I'd like to add to that podcast that isn't there yet is queues, especially for this section, because I'm eventually going to want to offload the post-processing of the MP3s to a worker process. That would be pretty uninteresting to watch, though. I think if I wouldn't have time to actually test it or do anything useful with it. So let's see where we at. I think maybe I will look at EasyAdmin and see what I can do about customizing this screen, because right now the way that everything has been updated with EasyAdmin, we are only showing some of the properties. Oh, that's not what I wanted. So we're only showing the background image property. The default behavior was that it showed just randomness. So I had no real control over what was going on here. I just picked certain columns, or probably the first few columns maybe, or the first few and the last few that were added. One thing that would be nice is I added this number for sort because it wasn't doing sorting correctly out of the box. So I want to see what I can do to tie this column to show the number, but actually use number for sort behind the scenes. So I don't even know if that's something that's possible, but let's see what we can do. So let's first put background image in. Let's do property. Let's do title. I think that's one that we had. I don't know what types we need. I don't know if we need a type. Let's see. Cool, title. All right, so the one, and then let's do subtitle. Let's do property number. All right, so as you can see, the numbers are in order, but they're not really in order. Because if I click this, we'll see that it does try to resort it based on this column, and that's not what we want. So let's go EasyAdmin column sort. Sorting column with the custom property. Okay. List search show views. Sorting entity listings. Okay, that's not working. Property types. I think I can probably do something like this before selecting a template to render. Entity template name. This might be something that is too complicated for me. Template property. If you override the example field integer, option value, so let me see. I think if I can get it to custom templates, so I think what I can do is get it to show something different here. So for number, I can do invoice total. Let's do episode number. Yeah, so let's go down to templates. Yes, dump item. Yeah, so that I can do item.number. There we go. What is it? No, it's not. Why don't I? It doesn't get me. It doesn't let me sort that anymore. It's a bummer. Number for sort. So it's outputting it, but it doesn't let me change it. Do I care? I might not actually care on this one, but I do want to give it a different name. So item, field options, view, column, label. There we go. Cool. So let's see, do they have template type sortable? All properties are sortable by default except virtual properties. And those. Let's see if I can change this to true. Might be that just by creating it or giving it a different template, it changed the default there. Yeah, for sort. Field or association number. Yeah, you do. Doesn't it? Oh. Oh. Here, I got bit by this part again. Although I'm kind of weirded out that it did anything at all. So it must just be that I did this. And I bet that's also why it wasn't sortable by default. All right, so has no field, number for sort. Oh, so this is actually embedded in the URL. So reloading that forever is never going to do anything. All right, cool. So default behavior, I'm actually showing the number, but the column is number for sort. So I'm getting what I wanted out of this. So that makes me happy. Okay, cool. So episode title. Don't really think background image is super important here. One thing that kind of bothers me is that it defaults to the edit view. I would rather have it default to show. Let's see if I can find that. So delete show. Customizing. Show instead of edit. View. Okay, so list actions, edit, and search. Default actions, list and delete, actions added by global config. Let's see what happens here. Ah, cool. And it looks like I can maybe minus edit and minus delete, because that is not something that we want to do ever, really. You should have to go in further before you can do something like that, is my take. So this is all here, background image URL. So we can probably go to show, and let's do this. And let's also add the background image. So we want to be able to see that at this level. Let's see what happens. Cool. So we get episode number makes sense. Let's also do subtitle. Cool. All right. We're going to do the same thing for edit, except here we're going to do number because we don't care about number for sort. And let's do some actions. Let's do actions, edit and delete. This is where those should happen. Oh. It was already there. All right, so we're back to listing. We can go subtitle if it's not there. That looks a little weird. Cool. And I kept the image because we didn't actually change it. So for here, form labels, background. Okay. Cool. All right. So at least this one doesn't have all the badness in it. We did get something kind of cool working in this one. Let's see here. I think one of the things I'd like to do on an upcoming session is fix these at some place. It isn't clear to me if that's happening on the import or the export. Let's do export. So Manchester again, no, Manchester. So the JSON is encoded with this value, but I don't know why it's not being decoded correctly on the other side. JSON decode. I'm sure it's some sort of encoding issue. All right. I'll have to, well, that is something that we'll have to fix. Because I thought we could do it, just go in and edit them manually, but I think it would be interesting to try and fix that anyway. So adding storage functionality for pristine media, not done. I think what we're going to do, just because I'm kind of tired of playing with bundles as a session, I think that over the next week, I'm going to see if I can figure out a basic plan for managing this stuff, and then we will start from a library perspective, or at least a non-upload perspective of just handling a file on disk, and then finding a way to handle uploads using another mechanism. So I'm going to do that for there. Fix JSON encoding issues. What else? I think that should be it, at least for now. Once we have at least these two bits done, and maybe even going back and looking at the way that things are being handled with this uploader bundle, I think we'll be good to go to start considering actually launching that podcast using the new site. I'll probably still use the old one as a means of input, at least for a little while, but I really do think it's coming along nice enough that we can start trying to get this version of the code tested in front of people and see if there are any other errors in it. But it's pretty close to what we need it to be, with the exception of those pieces that are missing. And then we can start doing some fun stuff. Start doing more automation, start actually adding functionality and things like that. Some of the stuff that Dave and I kind of want to do, we'll start to be able to do. So thanks for joining today. As a quick reminder, let's see here, if I go to public site, it's got a little bit of changes on it, which is great. We do have some additional sections. We have browse, which just gives you quick links to where you can find the old sessions until we actually start publishing the sessions, which hopefully will happen over the next week for some of the older code that we've done. So live sessions tab that talks a little bit about what the live sessions are versus the courses. If you have an idea of what kind of things you'd like to see for some of the more polished courses, please send me an email. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And then lastly, there's the schedule tab, and the schedule tab is connected to a Google Calendar that I'm managing. I'm actually going to be gone starting tomorrow at 6 a.m. I have a flight, which is awesome. So today is the last day that I'm going to do any broadcasts this week. But then I will be back again starting next Tuesday with the usual sessions, so the 4 to 5 and the 8 to 10 next week. So this should give you an accurate idea of when I'm actually going to be broadcasting, especially if I'm going to be gone. So if you ever come back and it says that, you thought I was supposed to be recording from 4 to 5 or whatever, and it says the next session is in 22 hours, this will help you understand why, hopefully. So if you ever see a problem with this, please let me know. This functionality is somewhat new as well. Thanks again. Have a good week, and looking forward to seeing you all again next week. Bye.